What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in. Let's talk some college football because it's finally here. Today was the kickoff for college football. We got a chance to finally see real games. I'm so tired. It's fun initially when fall camp starts. You have all this hope and stuff like that. And let me tell you something, though. If you're someone covering a team, camp sucks. Because it's like you can barely be at most of these practices now. You get to see stretching and maybe a couple plays, but you don't really get to see a ton of it. And it's 3, 4 weeks where you just have to about stories and position groups and stuff. At a certain point, you just want to play a game. Like, it's way more fun actually covering a game and being there than just 3 weeks to be like, hey, that third string linebacker, he's looking pretty good this year. Got a lot bigger. Let's do a story about him. So I was thrilled that the fact that there is actual football going on today. But it did bring to the forefront one of my pet peeves that I want to talk about today. So there was the college football kickoff classic game going on today. Iowa State squaring off against Kansas State. And they were over in Ireland. Awesome way to kick off college football by having a top 25 matchup. Two teams that have real aspirations this year that are solid, playing each other the very first game, kind of welcoming back college football. They do this in college basketball sometimes with that showcase where they'll have back-to-back games of top 25 teams. It's awesome to have that matchup. But there were a lot of things with this that drive me crazy. Number one, this is a conference game. This was massive for two teams that have big hopes of winning the Big 12 this year, and you're playing each other to begin the season before you've had a chance to kind of fine-tune and everything, and get that it's even playing field, but a lot can happen between now and then. What if one of these teams would have lost their quarterback in the next 3 weeks and wouldn't have had him for this matchup if they would have played it at a normal time? But now you end up losing this game. What if one of these teams, Kansas State loses this game, Iowa State wins. What if Iowa State's quarterback gets hurt tomorrow? They lose the rest of their games, and this ends up being what looks like a terrible loss for the Wildcats. There's a lot of ways that playing it this early isn't great for either team. And so I hate that it was a conference game to open up. Non-conference games I like a lot too. I prefer over it. But the bigger issue and the biggest thing about this that drives me crazy is there is no reason that a college football game should ever be played internationally. It's crazy. They need to stop this. And they've been doing it for a very, very long time. One game a year just about, or once every other year. It's terrible for the thing that matters most, which is the students at the universities. It's a money grab at its core. It's something where the universities can make a little extra bucks in their pocket. They claim that they're spreading the sport international and stuff. It's got nothing to do. Kansas State football has no obligation of spreading college football to Europe. They need to do right by their students. It is their team. How many students at Kansas State can actually fly to Ireland and support this team and watch it? And yet now they are one less home game that they can attend this year. These kickoff games are great and should happen, but never overseas. I don't even honestly really like them when they do the showcase games, whether it's at the Mercedes-Benz Center or if they do it in Dallas, where they have these top 25 matchups that agree at a neutral site. I don't really love the neutral site matchup. College football should be played at colleges. Completely different story when it comes to pro teams. Those are fans that are not paying tuition to be a part of that team. You're just a fan, and you can buy tickets. Students at these universities are paying sometimes $100,000 in tuition fees, and they're only going to have 6 games a year to watch their team at home, and now Kansas State fans just lost one. That's so unfair and doesn't make sense to the students, which is what college football should be about. It should be about not fans, but the students. It's nice for some of the alumni that can afford it. It's nice for people that just want to travel and see it. It's nice for the people in Europe, but the core audience of college football gets screwed. And I hate it for that reason. Now, like I said, they've been doing this for a very long time, a lot longer than I initially thought when I dove into this research. The first game played outside of the USA was in 1874, like 150 years ago. That was in Canada. Now, they played in Canada for all the games that weren't in America for the next like 30 years until they finally made their way down to Cuba in 1907. Now, they zigzagged back and forth between Canada and Cuba until 1929. They had their first game in Mexico. We're still all in North America. We're not really doing anything. They didn't make their way over to Europe until 1976. So about 50 years ago is when they finally started playing over in Europe. That game was in Germany. And okay, like it's not something that is brand new, even though it kind of feels like it is. But so many of these things now are about getting a TV deal, being the only game that's on television that day, selling tickets, making money for the schools, selling the brand of college football. The TV channels trying to rake it in because everyone's going to be watching the brand new game. But it's at the cost of the students. It's at the cost of what really should matter in college football. And that's a tragedy. It's terrible. It's not good for the sport. I don't care what you say about spreading the brand. That's not good for the sport when you alienate your number one clientele, your number one fan base, when they don't get a chance to go to these games. And the last thing I'm going to say is these games really hurt whoever the home team is supposed to be. The advantage of a home field in college football is massive. In NFL, they say it's a 3-point spread. It's probably closer to 6 in college football. You get a real atmosphere, and it can be more than that. And yet, Kansas State was supposed to be the home team in this game, and they ended up losing by 3. They were the higher-ranked team going into this, and now they have a home loss because they lost in Ireland by 3 points. Do you think they would have lost if this game was in Manhattan? Do you? I don't really think so. What if this was Arizona State? What if they had a chance to play a meaningful game in conference against Texas Tech, and instead of playing it in Phoenix, they decide, that they're going to move the game to, I don't know, they're going to go to Mexico. They end up losing that game by 3. Well, how would you feel? Like, that is not ideal, not great, not what you want. So it's hurting the home team in a lot of ways. And the other thing, people say that you have to play some of these neutral site games if you want to have a matchup. BS, not true. Look at the schedule this year. Oklahoma has Michigan coming to them this year as a non-conference game. Oklahoma and Michigan, those are 2 of the top 10 biggest brands in college football. Oklahoma State is playing at Oregon. Oklahoma State's kind of up and down, but they're a top 25 program in the country. Oregon has kind of gotten themselves to be a perennial top 10 type team. Don't tell me that it can't happen. Like, you can do a home and home with 2 marquee teams, and then that game, oh man, that will be a massive sellout, a massive draw, and that would be good for college football. Not this. These games in Europe are not good for college football, and they're not good for students, which is exactly what everything should be tailored around. It's about money, and it sucks when college football is so welcoming to make themselves a business, and yet they try and market themselves still as amateur sports. If they're amateur sports, then what you should be caring about is the fans and the athletes, not the dollar bills that you get from a TV deal by playing over in Europe. I think it sucks. Let me know what you think. If Arizona State did have a game like that, how would you feel? Would you be okay with it? Would you want to go? Do you think some of the students could afford those games like that? Or is it, hey, they still have 5 other home games that they're going to have this year. Oh, well. I hate it. I hate it. Like, if that's your university and you only have that opportunity, only a few opportunities a year to see them in person, what do we do it? It's not good for the sport. They need to stop doing it.